Yo.
Man. So Johnny fucking...
Hello?
Yeah. So Johnny fucking wrestling is NXT champ.
Johnny fucking takeover.
Johnny fucking takeover. First time in history, a triple crown champion in NXT.
All I can say is, what a fucking show.
What the fuck? I'm a little bit mad that Adam Cole didn't win though. Honestly.
I thought he had it multiple times.
Man, this fucking card, I mean, it just goes like it says again. Takeover beats Mania.
Takeover beats any pay-per-view.
Takeover beats any pay-per-view. 4 doesn't matter.
If I had to pick worst match of the night, I don't know.
I can't really say. I can't really point to one. I'd say because the UK title match was fucking dope. The starting match with the tag title match, that was like a really, really good match. Great swan song at the end. We all know that shit. Like the moment you see them out and everything, that means they're leaving NXT. You see Ricochet breaking up and shit and all this. Come on, man. That was just like.
If I had to pick probably the worst match of the night.
Really?
No, I'm saying if I had to pick, probably the Fatal 4-Way.
The Fatal 4-Way.
And that was a 4-star match.
That was, yeah. That's true. That still has some really good spots. What I like about NXT again, and I'll admit to this, I didn't watch NXT for a while.
To the full NXT ability.
And again, it's like Rich, I think like Nick said before. He said this in the chat. It's good seeing good wrestling after a long time.
Yeah.
It really is. It's like, wow, man. Like, holy shit. This is a fresher. Like, holy crap. So.
I'm still just wow.
I'm just wow. Like, holy shit. How the hell does, like, they pulled up.
Like, it's a great card.
Right.
When 2 out of the 3 RSN hosts are speechless.
Yeah, that's true. It's something that's like, if you were to rate this whole card, I mean, probably.
I give it a fucking 9.5 out of 10.
Hell yeah, I'll probably give it 9.5 out of 10 on the dot. Like, I'll be on the dot.
The only thing that made it lose a half a star was Cena winning.
Cena, yeah. I think what I didn't like about it was the fact that they had some of the champions retained. Like, you see the women's title.
Everyone but Pete Dunne.
Yes, Pete Dunne lost his title. That's freaking crazy. 700 days.
685 days.
And this guy lost the title at 665 days. That's crazy, man. That's just like, and then Walter freaking put up a fucking good performance.
So there was a new champ, no matter what.
Right. And then, of course, the NXT title match, guaranteed, you're gonna have a new champion. So
that's what happens when the title's vacated.
That's right. So yeah, Bacon is the champion, and then it switches over. So, but if you look at all
speaking of vacant, he's had about 572 title reigns.
That's crazy. That's OD. All Hall of Famer right there. All he needs is a Hall of Fame induction.
I think he's deciding when he goes in.
He decides, right? Yeah, so that's true. So hopefully when Vince dies, maybe, never know.
But anyway, back to TakeOver.
Yeah,
what a fucking show.
So what a way to open up Wrestlemania weekend. That was a really, really good show. It was crazy. And then the thing is also, you got to think of the fact they got to compete against Supercard. If you see months back, there was a rumor that MSG is holding the show. Basically, two of the biggest indie companies are going ahead and coming in, and basically taking over MSG. WWE kind of taunted and said, "Wait, let's put a season out. Let's prevent that from happening. We're successful."
Yeah.
Card of Honor is tomorrow, and that's going to be taking place in MSG. At the same time, takeovers are usually on Saturday. This is probably the one takeover. That's probably the only takeover that's on Friday. That kind of holy.
Every other one is been Saturday.
Yeah, that's right. And it's got a lot of people going like, wow, what the fuck. And then they're competing at Supercard of Honor. So we have to see tomorrow what happens at Supercard of Honor. So
what I'm waiting for is the show. I think it's in August, I believe. I think it's around my birthday.
Right.
It's AAA.
AAA, right? Yeah. For ROH or
No, I think it's a straight AAA.
AAA? Like the Mexican promotion AAA?
Yeah.
Damn, really? AAA Mania, right?
No, I think it's just the regular show. I don't think it's anything special.
Oh, really? Wow. I mean, what?
At MSG.
Mm-hmm. That's crazy. Wow. I mean, that's the thing with like AAA, New Japan Pro Wrestling. Again, it brings up the fact that they're big conglomerates. They're becoming big things now. They got their own.
I don't know if you heard,
Yeah.
but they leaked the schedule for the rest of 2019. And WWE is hosting a Raw and SmackDown at MSG right before the transition over to Fox.
Really?
Yeah.
That means they sorted it out now? Because I think WWE had.
I think so.
Wow, it's crazy. So I guess MSG and WWE's way of kind of, let's move this.
No, I don't think it's WWE. I think Triple H mended it. Because if you realize, look at all these names that have been inducted into the Hall of Fame in the past couple years.
Right.
If it wasn't for Triple H, Warrior would have never came back for his Hall of Fame.
Right. Bruno Sammartino never would have come back. Sting probably would have never come into his thing. AJ Styles would have never probably made the jump to WWE.
Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn.
A lot of names, a lot of big names, and again, it's just. I
guess we could say Triple H is the savior.
Yeah, he is pretty much the what do you call it? I'd say really the godfather.
He's the voice of reason.
Yeah, the voice of reason. If you think about it now, like looking at Vince, look at Triple H's like history. He used to be this guy where people hate him and shit. People used to say that he was a piece of crap and that. He slept with his boss's daughter, all this other bullshit. And then you see him now he's like this, big.
I'm just happy though that Triple H is basically getting all these guys to come to the company, getting these guys to make amends with the company, to be inducted into the Hall of Fame, just to even show up to shows.
That's right.
Because if you think about it, Sting would have never came to the company.
Yeah, he probably would have never. And then you saw the history of that. Like, Sting said that he looked at the whole vision angle and kind of turned him off. Like they basically deregulated all these WCW guys and just said, let's just decommoditize them, and that's what he did.
Like me and my friend Pete, we watch old pay-per-views, old shows. In 2002, Triple H basically buried WCW every pay-per-view because he beat someone from WCW.
That's right.
A lot of people don't even realize that.
Yeah. Yeah, if you look at the.
I'm gonna beat him. Put me against Booker T. I'm gonna beat him.
Right.
Against this one, I'm gonna beat him.
That's right.
He single-handedly buried WCW by himself.
Yep, and that's true. Like it was Scott, Diesel, fucking what do you call it?
Goldberg, Hogan,
freaking what's his name? Booker T. Wrestlemania. That was like crazy right there. Got a lot of heat right there. There's a lot of different things. And again, it goes back to, I guess, in Vince's mind, he's thinking, okay, we got to continue the story. WWE won. Let's remind everybody. And then, of course, WrestleMania 31, they had that thing, Sting against Triple H. People kind of thought.
NWO came out and DX came out.
Which was pretty good. And if you think about it, it's like the build was kind of like, a lot of people were like, why? Why would
that's every 90s kid's dream right there.
Yeah, it was. And it came to life, and that was.
But we're kind of about 15 years too late.
Yeah. And also the fact that this could have been potential for another match, which a lot of people were asking for, Undertaker versus Sting. But of course, because of course he got.
That's every 90 kid's dream match. The two people who never jump ship.
Never jump ship, loyal to the business. It's crazy. Yeah.
But then Sting broke it. But if you think about it, he really didn't because WWE owned WCW, so he kind of didn't jump ship.
He didn't jump ship, yeah. I guess he
did, but he didn't.
He really, he did, but then he kind of didn't. At least it's not like Hogan. Like Hogan was the kind of guy that was hypocritical that just jumped ship back and forth.
But I think we should get into what all the fans are tuning in for.
Yeah.
let's talk about the granddaddy of them all.
Damn. Yeah. So it's already. We always talk about this pre-wrestling, wrestling, and then
Well, it's kind of late though.
Yeah, this is like
we usually have it up earlier in the week.
That's right. This is like the actual like. This is the big time. It's right here. Literally, it's in 2 days.
This is it.
This is it. So this is where all these storylines kind of come together, and basically it's like, okay, this is where.
And then we get the start of new storylines.
Get the start of storylines, new kind of things, and go from there. Starting out, of course, saying that basically this year's WrestleMania was in New York, New Jersey, same place where it was in MetLife Stadium in WrestleMania 29. Now, of course, next year is going to be in, I believe, 36 is going to be in Florida, I think, right? Or
Tampa Bay, Florida.
Tampa. So that's where, wasn't that where 24 was, right? WrestleMania 24?
I believe so.
So that's crazy. That's over 12 WrestleMania. That's crazy. So, I mean, that of in itself could be something different. You already see that. But I think, well, let me ask you the first thing. New York, WrestleMania. What significance does it have in your mind when you look at it?
It's the best wrestling town ever.
We're not biased about that, no? I mean, it is true. It's true. Like,
Fact. Yeah. We have the best crowd.
It is true. It's true. Like, you see that today. Like, you saw this. Like, when the UK guys came out today, they were just all over that. Like, they were like, holy shit, whatever. They started going around with it. UK chants, Walter chants, all that stuff. Basically, we're able to adapt to any style of wrestling. What it is now, especially here, that quote unquote they'll call us marks and say, "Oh, that we're hardcore fans." It's true. New York is a hardcore wrestling crowd. There's a lot of history rooted into New York and all that stuff. And wrestling is that probably our great grandfathers, great grandfathers watched it and they passed it along. So it's a big deal. But we gotta talk about, of course. I mean, there's a lot of matches on. What would you say? Probably. Of course, there was a recent rematch. Right? It was a big. Call it. Of course, a lot of speculation on stuff between who's gonna be the main event. Of course, I think Brock and Seth. And then they changed it to the triple threat.
Oh, no, there was no doubt it was going to be the triple threat, hands down. There was no. They weren't changing that. It was the triple threat. There was never going to be any other match to main event the show.
I mean, think about it. It's a women's title match. A women's match that's going to main event WrestleMania this year. That's still surreal to believe. That's like, holy shit, that's crazy. And this is probably the same year that they have this whole thing with Saudi Arabia, all this shit. Like, right in the midst of that, right in the middle of all this. Which is kind of crazy if you think about it. It's like, wow, holy crap. And then the bill for this, they're putting all the resources to it. So that's, like I said, that's another plus right there. But then it just begs the question, like, of course, there's a lot of different matches. Of course, where's this going to be a 6-7 hour show or something? It's crazy. It's just a lot of different, like, different kind of programs that are set up and stuff like that. They got the pre-show to consider. You got the post-show. You got the main show. There's different things, of course, to consider and stuff like that, So it's, of course, like a big show and everything like that. We got to keep on, trying to think of different kind of programs and stuff like that, how to kind of position it. And again, I think the argument all the time, every single year, is how can WWE make it a good program, the placement in the program, but still make it work? Not to the point where it's like, okay, 6-7 hours of waiting there, sitting there, chilling, this kind of stuff. We want to be able to kind of be continually, entertaining and stuff like that, where it's a constant kind of thing, just like TakeOver. You see, the fans weren't sitting down the whole time; they were just there doing their thing, and they just kind of keep going from here. It's basically all going all up on that. It's just constant action. People were all engaged into it. It wasn't like they were just kind of losing the vibe there, and all this stuff. It's, again, a really, really interesting thing right there. But I think really what it comes down to is, the starting match to their last card. They got to go ahead and find a way of making it really interesting. But, I mean, if we were to kind of go through it, we'll probably go through this whole card right here. What's going on right here, So, we'll...
Fucking Anchor.
No.
This might be one of the last shows we do on Anchor. Just so the fans know.
I know, Anchor. Come on, man. You guys got to fix your algorithm.
Just so the fans know, this might be one of the last shows on Anchor.
Or maybe it's because of the fact that we're on Apple. Why?
No, it's Anchor.
It's Apple, man. It's Apple. I'm telling you.
As we were saying, takeover, 3 hours and 15 minutes, 3 hours and 20 minutes, give or take.
That's right.
5 matches. Not one match is less than 4.5 stars.
That's right. Yeah. And again, it also
WrestleMania is going to be 32.5 hours.
Yeah.
16 matches. I guarantee it's going to be nowhere near it.
And it's just going to be a bunch of just, it's not even spot. And the thing is, I think what pisses people off is the fact that it's not spot wrestling, or it's not like, they don't have a lot of action going in. Mostly it's just 1 or 2 big spots, and then that's it. Pretty much it's just done from there. And I think that's what pisses people off. If you look at last year, for example, a lot of that last year's WrestleMania was pretty decent. A lot of people looked at it from start to finish.
Last year's was good,
yeah,
with the exception of certain matches and the way certain matches ended, like the AJ Nakamura match.
Right.
I was super fucking pissed off about that ending.
Right.
I just hate Brock Lesnar, so anything he does, I can't fucking watch. It's horrible.
Right. I mean, if you look at, let's say, they started out the show really, really good with the Cruiserweight title match with Ali and Cedric. That was pretty dope, too. But then, next thing you know...
Oh, that was a great fucking match.
That was a really good match. That was
like both talents.
Yeah. As
of recent, since the whole gimmick change, I love Ali's character.
That's right.
Cedric, as everyone knows, I'm just a big fan of Cedric.
Yeah.
Ever since Ring of Honor.
Ring of Honor is freaking crazy, man. I
was upset he wasn't at Final Battle.
Yeah. That's right. And again, it also bring.
Although we did see War Raiders, so
yeah, did see War Raiders, so that's true. And then again, it just brings.
I love what Nick said in our Facebook group chat. I forgot how good of a talent they are.
True. I mean, after a while, you kind of look and you're kind of like, wow, man, there is a lot of good talent. I mean, if you see these guys that mirror every single move, like Ricochet, you look at Ricochet, a big high flyer, but then you see like Rowe and the other guy, they're all they're freaking.
Anson and Rowe.
Yeah, they're doing really, really good.
Just throwing out there, Ricochet carrying.
Yeah, he did. He really did. He really put in the work in that match, and that really did help out a lot. Yeah, I mean again. Yeah,
that was probably the best opening match that TakeOver could have had.
Yeah, that's true. And again,
the Dreams entrance, the Statue of Dream, amazing.
Yeah. Again, it's also you see this whole setup with the false finishes and stuff like that, the pinfall count. What I like about
that was good.
Yeah, the close pinfalls, that really got to me. If you see a close pinfall in WrestleMania, it's just you see
Which
it.
match are you talking about?
Yeah. It's so predictable, though. I noticed that. I mean, certain matches, you might see something, probably oh, that's not gonna, he.
And I caught a whole, not conspiracy, but a whole theory.
Mm-hmm.
But that came to an end at the end of the show with the Gargano Cole match.
Right.
The winner of the match came out last, except the main event.
That's right. I mean, there's cues. I mean, even if you see the expression on some of the champions' faces when they walk in, the person that's holding the title, you could tell if they won the title or not. Some people aren't that transparent, but you see, let's say Brock, for example, he's totally you won't be able to tell. But then let's say someone
shows.
Yeah, there's no emotion. It's hard to tell. But then some of these guys you could tell in their face, hey,
Seth.
Yeah, they just got told you're dropping the belt today. And they're probably all right. And they're just kind of damn, now it's kind of do this shit. Holy crap. Yeah. Again, it just brings up the fact that I think also it's just unpredictability. WWE needs to find a way to make things unpredictable. And that's what people like. So
took long enough.
Yeah. Another thing too is if you look at it, look at all the rumors. They said Cena's not going to be there, quote unquote. Won't be there, quote unquote. The Rock. He's always there every Mania, but he's not going to be there, quote unquote. So it's kind of hard to say. Are all these guys still going to be there, or are they going to make it? What's going to happen? This kind of stuff, But yeah, I mean, let's go down the card. So, yeah, let's get into it. So, WrestleMania, of
I would
course.
say, let's get into what the fans tune in
if
for.
we were to kind of go in order, there's a lot of things. I mean, of course, it's hard to say which matches are going to be pre-show, which matches are going to.
Well, the only two matches we're not going to do predictions for.
That's right.
Are the two battle royals.
Again, it could be last-minute surprises. You never know. I mean, even I heard the rumor that they haven't finalized certain matches on the card. So, like, even the promo, like the match cards that they give out on, like, to the VIP section and all that stuff, they don't, they haven't finalized. Yep. Finalized. So, Buddy Murphy.
So, start with the cruiserweights.
This guy has had such a fucking rise. Crazy. Australian superstar.
What a rise
big
this guy's
fucking,
had.
Kind of rise that he had. Yeah. And he's made his own.
Engaged to Alexa Bliss.
Yeah. Big name. He's gone ahead and made a big splash in WWE, of course. When the cruiserweight after, I think, a couple months. Pretty crazy. Yeah. But I mean, there's a lot of
4 months.
Like for him, I think it's really just, they have to. I mean, with this match,
this haven't made him
again. If they can top last year's, which I think is very hard, that's gonna be super hard to do. I don't know how they're gonna do this with this. Who's he facing though?
As much as it hurts me to say this,
mm-hmm.
these two guys in this match,
mm-hmm.
I think are more talented. So we might get a better match.
Really?
Yeah. And who do I see coming out on top? I still see Murphy holding the title at the end of the match.
Yeah, it seems like Murphy might,
He's the face of 205.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, at this point, if you look at the whole tarnished legacy of, or quote-unquote legacy of the cruiserweights right now, you see all this stuff with Rich Swann. He got suspended, of course.
As of right now, he's the only one.
Mm-hmm.
Well, him and Kendrick
mm-hmm.
are the only two who haven't had a curse yet.
That's right. Yeah. And then, of course, you see things with Enzo. Enzo got,
Enzo got his rape allegations. Rich Swann beat his wife.
Right.
TJP got released because he got tattoos, which I think is fucking stupid.
Yeah.
You need permission to get tattoos. You need permission to cut your hair.
You see Neville. Neville just quit because he just got frustrated,
because they wanted him to drop the title to Enzo.
Yeah, and there was a lot of heat, of course, with the way that they were booking him and not giving him the revenue, and he was getting pissed. And he was justifiable, but then there's a lot of this kind of heat, this kind of aura of like how do you erase this, or how do you kind of substitute this?
Well, is Murphy the longest reigning champ?
I technically say I think so. I think Enzo held it for 7 months, I think, something like that. And then of course he got stripped of it. Who else? What was it? I think TJP held it for a little bit. He held it for.
Neville had it for a couple months.
Yeah.
I think Murphy might be the longest champ.
Technically, yeah. Right now, you might be, yeah.
Again, this guy went from a tag team
mm-hmm.
to a team breaking up,
yeah,
to being one of the best cruiserweight champs.
That's right. And I think it's also the fact that this guy, he's had such a rise where he's changed his whole gimmick, changed his whole career. Now he's become a single star that potentially can be a big star. So we'll have to see. I mean, the thing is, when I looked at the cruiserweight title, it served as like a thing where you can kind of develop somebody's career and kind of transition them. But then when you see,
I can see a couple guys actually going down to 205.
Yeah, there's a couple right now. I mean, of course, even people that were just called up right now. But I think in Vincent's eyes, he looks at it as more like a physical attribute, whereas like Triple H might look at it as, okay, what's in the ring attribute, Like you see, like he might just think, okay, Ricochet is perfect for that, or Lio Rush is perfect for that. True.
Leo actually is, though.
He is. Yeah, he is. But I think it's also the fact that it's kind of stereotypical. It's like, oh, okay, so since they're
the man of the hour.
Since they're they're lightweights. Oh,
hey, just remember, the man of the hour spoke to the big guy.
The big guy, right. He said, what was the B word? Plan B, right?
Plan B.
Yeah.
That was funny though.
That was hilarious. It's crazy. But yeah, I mean, this match again, I'd say Murphy probably retains. It's just again the same thing.
I see. Yeah, I say unanimous.
Mm-hmm.
Murphy.
Right. Murphy again is just he's talented. He has
Next
a lot
match.
of yeah.
Remember, we're not doing the battle royals.
That's right. Well, let's talk about. I was gonna talk about this. The what was it called? Shane McMahon versus The Miz.
Has potential to be a show stealer.
That's right. It's a false count anywhere.
It has potential.
That's right. It's a false count anywhere match. I mean, it's kind of crazy. Looking at the build.
That's the reason why I'm saying it has potential to be a show stealer.
Right.
Because we know how Shane is when it comes to basically anything goes.
That's right.
And as we saw on SmackDown, so does The Miz.
That's right. And again, it's also the fact that, of course, Shane, he kind of does this thing where every WrestleMania he does a match, he tries to make it something that's a spectacle.
Oh, do you hear where he's jumping off of this year?
What's he jumping off this year?
The top of the stadium.
Top of the stadium. I heard the new set. They're basically, I think when they had it last year in MetLife, a couple of years ago when they had it in MetLife, they basically had the Statue of Liberty. And that thing was about, 73 feet tall or something like that. So maybe
it was close to 80 feet, I think they said.
So he's gonna make an 80-foot drop all the way down.
Now I see him probably setting up a 30-foot ladder, probably.
30-foot ladder, yeah.
I say a 30-foot ladder. He'll be jumping off of this year.
Yeah. You know what they should do as one of the props? Put a bucket of fried chicken and a gym bag under the ring. You guys know where I'm getting at this. So, of course, The Miz, because they have the story built up. The way, again, I look at this as kind of it's a kind of weird build up that they have for this. There's a lot of factors that kind of people are like, okay, they kind of shrug their shoulders and go, all right, whatever. So, for example, I think
it's whatever.
Yeah, we talked about this a year ago where we were talking about the potential main event for WrestleMania 35 was going to be Daniel Bryan versus The Miz for the WWE title.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. And then it totally just went a different direction.
The match against AJ.
Yeah.
And setting up a long-term feud.
Yeah, and that would have been perfect, I think. In my mind, it's kind of again, it makes sense. You see these guys.
We almost had that, though.
We almost. And then
we got very close.
Yeah. And then, of course, there was rumors for this whole Saudi Arabia thing that they had for Crown Jewel. They're like, oh, we're going to have this big angle for the Best in the World tournament, da-da-da. Next thing you know, Shane McMahon wins it. People kind of caught back by okay, so where's...
Yeah, that was just a little awkward, out of the blue. I'm just going to finish the match.
Yeah, it's whoa. And then next thing you know, of course, he won the match, won this quote-unquote trophy, and then basically, they might as well just slap CM Punk's face on that trophy. It's just whatever, because of course the amount of CM Punk...
Fuck that. No,
every time...
It's Kenny Omega.
Kenny Omega, exactly. So it's come on, man. I'm telling you guys, give up on CM Punk. He's not coming back. Who? Exactly. Who? He's not coming back.
Wait, you mean the guy who's 0-2 in UFC?
Yeah, the guy's 0-2 in UFC. The guy that's just sitting over there bitching about his fucking Z-Pack and shit. The same guy. This guy's supposed to
the same guy that owes Colt Cabana $2.5 million.
That's right, and the same guy that actually went ahead and shit his pants on live TV.
I remember that.
Remember, he used the word shit, and then they told him, no, you got to change it to poo. So you have to say, okay, I pooped my pants. Which is, okay, cool.
Nah, I shit myself.
Bravo. I pooped myself. That's what they say. Or I pooed myself. So, yeah. Nice job, WWE, with your semantics. Yeah. But then, again, it's just, I look at this thing as kind of there could have been a better kind of build-up to this. I feel like taking the Best in the World trophy really didn't help out with this. Of course, it might help The Miz, I think. The Miz, of course.
I could see The Miz doing something with this.
Yeah. It definitely can benefit him. Maybe it could put him into the title picture again. You never know. But we'll have to see. But, yeah. I think for me, if they're gonna do this match, it has to benefit one person. It has to benefit The Miz. Because if you think last year, it was Ronda and I think it was Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon versus Owens
Kevin
and
Sami.
Yeah.
If they want Kevin and Sami win, they get their contracts back. If not, they're quote unquote fired.
Yeah. again, WWE's kind of consistency in storylines, they didn't get fired. Of course,
But just remember,
that's what WWE.
TNA's hiring.
TNA's hiring. That's right. Yeah.
Fucking Kurt Angle.
Yeah. Former fucking TNA general manager. Like, come on.
Since we brought him up, might as well do his match next then.
And yeah, this one, I'm hearing a lot of shit about this.
I'm hearing it's going to be a last minute change because Baron hurt himself. I have a feeling, with my personal opinion, who should be fighting Kurt? Who did Kurt basically break into the company? Let's see if you remember this. About 16 years ago.
In 1999 or 19? He came in 1999, I think, right?
No, it was 2002, I believe, or 2003. It was his first match on SmackDown.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Cool.
We're talking about the Pro.
Yep, John Cena. His first match was against Kurt Angle. Out of respect, Kurt's last match should be against John Cena.
Yeah. I mean, there's been numerous interviews where Kurt Angle has said many times, if I wanted to end my career and I wanted to fight with one person, it would be John Cena. And he has so much respect for this guy that he's developed a career and all that stuff. 2006, they had like a storied rivalry that kind of...
Which was a great rivalry.
Of course, he left because of all of his problems and stuff like that. The concussions and all his history of like drugs and all that stuff.
Painkillers.
And then you see him now, he's actually healthier, the most healthiest that he is right now in his whole career. And, now he's about to wrap up. It's kind of like the Ric Flair treatment that WWE gave to Ric Flair in WrestleMania 20, I think it was 24. Yeah, when he had to retire. It's kind of a similar kind of thing. WWE's like, Kurt, you're getting old. We don't want you getting injured. You got to retire. So he's like, all right, I'll go on my own terms. I want to go.
That's 10 years ago.
10 years. That's kind of hard to believe, right? 10 years ago. 10 fucking years ago. That's crazy. WrestleMania 24.
25.
Rick 25?
Yeah, 10 years 20? Is 25.
25.
That was,
so yeah, I mean,
that was probably like one of the saddest moments in Mania, though.
It was indeed. I think.
Sorry, I love you, super kick.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, it was a great match, though.
It was.
For someone what was he, 60 years old at the time?
That's right.
He put on a great friggin' match.
Oh my God, crazy. 60-year-old man, crazy, man. He just went ahead and put on like a hell of a show right there. Again, I think
I'm actually going to look this up, how long that match was. Mm-hmm. I think it was like a 25-minute match.
Yeah, I remember it being like a long match, and they had a lot of time for different spots. Of course, they had to synchronize everything, because I think HBK in his autobiography said something about how they had the whole match laid out. They had to follow the format because the cameramen, they were cued to kind of do certain spots and everything like that. And they had to position themselves.
It was 24. You were right, by the way.
24. Wow.
11 years ago.
11 years ago. Wow, man.
And that match ran 20 and a half minutes.
That's crazy.
20 minutes and 34 seconds. For someone who... He was... He was 59 years old.
59 years old. So he's on the cusp of 60. That's crazy. Again, it's just something that's like, I think this match with Kurt could be a similar kind of feel. Where no matter who he's going to face, it could possibly be that.
I hope it's not Corbin, though. Anyone but Corbin.
Man, if that's Corbin, the whole crowd's going to be booing the shit out of him. It's basically going to be Roman Reigns kind of winning the Rumble again and all this shit, basically all over again. It's like, really? But then it's like, again, they should just give this guy, like, a match with somebody, with a more... again, I don't have anything against Corbin. I think really what it is, it's not the right match for him, I think. If anything, they could probably be better build-up, something different for him, do something else. But then this guy's kind of like, with Kurt, if you look at his whole lineage, look at from TNA, coming back...
IWGP.
IWGP, it's full circle. He needs to do that at least end your career the right way, If you're going to have it against Corbin, what's the point?
At least make it a good match, Corbin.
Yeah. It's just, again, if you're just going to give it like a 10-minute kind of slaughter or something like that, then what's the point of that, You're really just going ahead and just putting it down. And again, it's again, the really thing is with this one, if let's say there might be a case like you said, they might go ahead and do a last minute change. Maybe Corbin suddenly gets injured, or backstage he gets hit by something, and the next thing you know, the lights go up.
Rikishi hits him.
Yeah,
he did it. For Kurt.
I did it for Kurt. I did it for the people. Like, come on, man.
That was one of the funniest moments.
That was hilarious. If like I said, if with this match, Cena, if Undertaker comes out, okay, cool, that's good. Let's move it along. But then, and another match, I think that's kind of unpredictable. Let's move on. Of course, we're talking about unpredictable matches or last minute changes. Ray versus Joe. Of course, Ray injured himself.
I'm hearing he might not be there.
Damn, that's kind of sad too if you think about it. Like, this guy had a record of being injury prone, and now he's coming back ready, and he's like the most healthiest, quote unquote, that he's been in a while, and he gets injured, and he's missing out on the biggest show.
Yeah, it's not like it's a bullshit pay-per-view.
Yeah, the same thing as like a Ciampa, with like Tommaso Ciampa. He missed tonight basically because of an injury. Kind of heartbreaking when you think about it, but that's just the way it happens. You get in the ring, you get hurt. So
like Triple H said.
It's extenuating circumstances, really. That's what it is.
And, but for certain people, this is where the dream starts.
That's right. New dreams and everything. New feuds. So, yeah, it's true. But, yeah. I mean, with this one, what do you feel this is going to go? Like, let's say if Joe faces Mysterio, let's say. Would you see
I see Joe putting him to sleep.
Joe putting him to sleep. Yeah. It could happen. I mean, I'd say for sure, like, if you think about it, was it WrestleMania 25, 10 years ago to this day, Rey Mysterio faced JBL for the IC title. He won that night.
And JBL retired.
So I think here, Rey Mysterio wins. It's kind of full circle for him. It will make sense. Because think about it. He held the world title. He held the United States title.
Is he a Grand Slam?
I'm sorry. Yeah. Yeah, I think so, didn't he?
Is Mysterio a Grand Slam?
No, he won. No, because like, what was it? WrestleMania 22, he won the world title, right? He won a cruiserweight title, I think, in WrestleMania 19 or 20, was it? Something like that. In, I think, WrestleMania.
He's a triple crown.
So he got triple crown, technically. So if he wins this U.S. title, he basically won all the mid-card titles, and he pretty much won the world title.
He'll be a Grand Slam.
He'll be a Grand Slam, technically, yeah. So he will officially be a Grand Slam champ, which I think WWE has been going on that kind of path. Orton won the U.S. title, making him a Grand Slam champ.
So on the title, the IC title,
right.
Grand Slam.
Yeah, that's right. So I think for this, I mean, if Rey Mysterio competes, I think Rey Mysterio should win. But you never know. They might just have Cena replace Mysterio and just have a Joe versus Cena.
I want Cena versus Kurt, though.
Cena versus Kurt, yeah. So I think that's where it's kind of leaning towards. It's kind of like a possibility, which, we'll have to see. But yeah, again, you never know. They might throw in something. Maybe it might be someone on Raw or SmackDown. They'll be like, on Raw, and they'll be like, okay, you're in the match. Okay, cool. And that's it, So you never know.
It's WWE. We never know.
Yeah, you never know. So we're talking about the United States title. Let's talk about the Continental title. So we got Lashley versus Finn Balor.
Demon Balor.
You already said it. I know, man. You're stuck with Balor. That's your favorite. For me, I think if Lashley were to... I think Lashley has a record. I think he might have a winning record.
He's 1-0.
He's one. Yeah. So he's technically undefeated. He's 1-0. Of course, he had that big match in, I think, WrestleMania. What was it?
The 21. The hair versus hair.
21. Yeah, hair versus hair. And of course, he won. And then I think against Umaga too. That was pretty crazy. Yeah. That's crazy. The last time he was at Mania, he faced Umaga. That's crazy. So you never know. It's gonna be something big too.
Demon Balor's winning.
Demon Balor.
Sorry, Leo.
Everybody knows. Yeah, everybody knows. If you play 2K19 and you're playing as Demon Balor versus Finn Balor, you'll see who's usually on top. It's usually Demon Balor. If you look at their stats, Demon Balor is the one that's doing. But in real life,
Demon Balor's a 92, Finn's at 89.
That's crazy, man. Jumped up how many points? 6 points? 6 fucking points.
Because he's all friggin' super strong and all that.
Yeah, so he gets this kind of Irish strength back. You never know. So, yeah. But, yeah, nonetheless, big match. We'll have to see with that. Let's see. So we talked about the WrestleMania Women's Battle Royal. Last year, of course, they unveiled it first
We're
time.
not doing the battle royals
The Battle
because
Royal. So, and then
not
you got
everyone is guaranteed. So there might be
Right.
people popping up.
That's right.
We'll do the Revival versus the Major Brothers, Kurt Hawkins and Zack Ryder.
Well, we could talk about. I think. Well, let's talk about both tag matches. I think because, I mean, on the other side, you got on SmackDown, you got what is it? The Usos
versus Ricochet and Alistar Black versus The Bar versus Nakamura and Rusev.
And then also you got this Revival versus Kurt Hawkins and Zack Ryder. So again, it's this kind of thing is kind of like, again, they're trying to create moments, right? They gotta have.
Well, we do have a first.
Yeah. This, yeah.
First.
Again, it's
that's been done.
Yeah. First time since what? Since there was a Fatal 4-Way?
No. This is the third year in a row a team is walking in with the champions.
That's right.
The Usos have walked in 35, 34, and 33 as the champs.
That's crazy.
First time
3 years in a row. That's ridiculous. It's crazy. I mean, again, and they recently re-signed, right? They recently signed a multi-year
deal. They re-signed on Wednesday.
That's crazy. And there were rumors of them going to AEW, but then they said, "Nah, fuck that. We'll stick with WWE." So good for them. But again, it's also the fact that if you look at recently what's going on, of course, you saw it tonight. Ricochet and Aleister Black, they gave their bow. This was a swan song. They left. Pretty much, they're gone.
And you saw how the crowd reacted. They stood in the ring for an extra 3 minutes.
Yeah. And that was a sense of respect. That was like the crowd knew. That's the thing. The crowd knew when and we knew that. We saw that final battle when, of course, you saw them when you saw
I didn't even see that. You're the one who caught the bow.
Yeah, they were just going and bowing, and then I was like, oh shit, they're leaving. And of course, what did you find out? They ended up leaving. They ended up going that January to WWE.
Yeah, so, they did their final match the following night.
Mm-hmm. And then, of course, then after that, of course, like tonight, you saw they had shake their hands and everything, give them a bow. They started giving a bow to the New York crowd. Great way to kind of do their swan song. So the newly positioned Ricochet and Aleister Black have now an opportunity of becoming SmackDown Tag Champs.
I see that happening.
Which is kind of crazy. That walking in probably into this weekend, they were potentially about to become NXT Tag Team Champions and SmackDown.
They were potentially not even on the card as of a week ago.
Yeah, that's right. And think about it. A year ago, they recently came into WWE, right? I think Ricochet came in during Brooklyn.
I believe so.
Brooklyn. So, and that's crazy to think about. Like, look how quick of a rise he got. And then, of course, Aleister Black, they got the rocket ship on him, basically. He's gone and just accelerated. 2 NXT title reigns, just coming back.
Philadelphia, the Royal Rumble.
Wow, so that's crazy. So, yeah, it's, these guys competed at the Rumble. It's crazy.
The new signees in the crowd.
Yeah, that's right. And it's
which,
kind of like, again,
they announced today, Kushida has signed with NXT.
Another big name, yeah. So, again, like Triple H said, there's a void. There's always going to be a new career. So that means, like I said, it's kind of like, okay, one career goes, someone else takes his place.
Okay, so we lose Ricochet and Aleister Black. Yeah. We get Kushida.
That's right.
And I guarantee you there's a couple more names that Triple H has up his sleeve that he's waiting.
So, I guess we'll have to see who he signs later on. But, yeah. But, again, I mean, going back to this whole thing, of course, the element of NXT coming into this.
My pick for the SmackDown tag titles, Black and Ricochet.
I mean, you also got to think of the fact that Usos might retain again. Because I think, 33 they retained. 34 I think they retained also, right? And then...
I believe so.
No, 33 I think they lost against Rowan and Harper, no?
No, that was last year.
Last year they lost them, right?
Last year was Yeah, Bludgeon Brothers beat the Usos and the New Day.
Mhm.
And then 33, I think they retained at 33. I'll check right now.
So I guess now it's just. I mean, there's no record for them to go, but I think if they wanted to have them retained, they definitely could, just to kind of have them tie the.
They lost.
They lost. Wow. So I mean, there's a high chance there might be new champions. I mean, the Bar might win for all we know, or Nakamura and Rusev might win for all we know. You never know. Not. So I mean, it's just again, it's kind of like
we'll have to see. It's just I would like to see Alistar Black and Ricochet win just because it's their first Mania.
That's right. Yeah. Again, it's also the fact that they, it's a monumentous occasion. If they did win and stuff like that on the grandest stage, that's a big deal.
Not even that, their first match.
Their first match.
Their first WrestleMania.
Yeah, the debut WrestleMania. That's crazy. So you never know. But yeah, I think for me, Usos got to win. I think I would love for Ricochet and Alistar Black to win, but I think they have a lot more they need to do in order to kind of stay.
But as long as either the Usos or Ricochet and Black, that's all that matters.
Yeah, that's all that matters.
Nothing against the Bar, but I'm sick of them.
Yeah.
And Nakamura and Rusev, I see them both leaving.
That's right. It's just, again, they're getting frustrated, so it's totally understandable. So you never know. I think this is just like, okay, let's put you on.
Look at this. Nakamura at 34, fighting for the title.
Yeah.
35.
That's right.
Fighting for tag team titles with a thrown together team.
Mm-hmm. Kind of like a swan song. They might be trying to kind of like, tune it up. So you never know. So he might be just kind of going away. You never know. This might be his last, WrestleMania before he jumps ship to somewhere else. So you never know.
He's either going to go to Japan or AEW.
Yeah, you never know. Speaking of AEW, so we got to see for this whole double or nothing kind of thing. They might just go ahead and have a Fuck the Revival tour. So you never know. But the Revival.
What are we going to name the tour? Fuck the Revival.
Fuck the Revival. That's the name of the tour. Fuck the Revival tour. So we got the Revival versus Kurt Hawkins and Zack Ryder.
Kurt Hawkins and Zack Ryder.
And if Kurt Hawkins and Zack Ryder wins, that's crazy.
Give it to the hometown kid and the guy who hasn't won a match in 275 matches.
Think about it. 275 matches later on the grandest stage of them all.
Oh, they're both hometown boys. They're both Long Island boys.
Oh shit! That's crazy. So that's a given right there. Then that means they're gonna win.
Well, if you think about it, last time they were in New York for Mania, who won the IC title?
It was
Zack
Ryder. Yeah.
So why not give him another title?
Yeah, and I think it might be also the fact that I think they said that Hawkins was being he was getting frustrated with his position in WWE. And I think Zack probably played a favor.
And he left it before, and he'll leave again.
You never know. So, yeah, this might be just like another kind of thing. Maybe they're tuning up the band and saying, okay, this is just a farewell, one-time thing. Bam, just to kind of make you happy. And basically go from there. They'll can him. So, you never know. I take Hawkins and Ryder. They have to win. If they win.
Brothers, the Edgeheads, whatever the hell you want to call them, get a title.
That's right. Yeah, just get a title. That's it. It's been 10 years ago, title, so bring it back. It'll be kind of full circle for them.
Yep.
And then the next one. So we got another tag match, fatal four-way tag match for the women's tag team titles. You got Boston Hug Connection, Bayley and Sasha.
Divas of Doom.
Yeah, Divas of Doom.
Iconics and the Samoan Hit Squad, or whatever the hell you want to call them.
Yeah. Yokozuna Jr. Yokozuna.
I see Beth and Natalya winning.
I feel like it might be just like a wild card victory. The Iconics.
I could see them winning too.
Yeah, and they might just win like a fluke victory or something, but that would be like a big moment. Like, holy shit, these guys. And imagine them getting beaten up by Nia Jax and Tamina. There's probably going to be like 50 spots of them getting beaten up and all this stuff. So, you never know.
But it would be cool to see Beth Phoenix and Natty win.
Oh, man, yeah, that would be pretty big, too. And Beth Phoenix just came back from retirement, so that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, that's why I'm seeing if she re-signed full-time, why bring her in to lose?
Yeah, that's right. I think what WWE has a trend of doing right now, like look at who they brought back. They brought in, Rey Mysterio, Bobby Lashley, all these big names. Batista. Why to go ahead and build?
Give me what I want.
Yeah, give me what I want. Yeah, I ain't gonna. All right, but then let's go into that now. So of course we got Triple H and Batista. Basically the big kind of feud that was built up from like months ago.
14 years.
Months ago. And probably way before that too. So
14 years in the making.
That's crazy. Of course, we got all this shit with like I said, you go way back. 21. Basically, Batista wins the world title from Triple H. This whole thing goes on where it's like, okay, Triple H is, now this kind of he's going down to a downward spiral. Batista's career is kind of climbing. It's the point, Batista's at the top, and then basically Triple H is just down on Raw, stuck. And now you see 14 years later, Triple H is like he's the head honcho. And you see Batista, he's like the big guy in Hollywood right now. It's kind of crazy. 10 years later, all this shit's going on. It's bizarre. It's like, holy shit, man, all this stuff's going on. But then it's also like, again, it makes sense if you think about it. And they recently feuded. They recently ignited that whole feud. You saw that little moment in SmackDown 1000 where basically Ric Flair, is trying to right in the middle of them, like, chill out, guys, chill out.
You gotta admit, though, that was a great one-liner, though. He did everything. But
Jesus, savage. Yeah, he is savage. Compared to like 2014 when he came back and then he got that reaction.
Batista.
Basically, the whole prior reaction that like fans had with him, and then after that moment, they kind of just went, "Holy shit, where did this Batista come from?" Like, holy crap.
That kind of scripted.
You think it got scripted?
No, I'm saying he reads movie scripts, so he learned how to talk better.
But I think he found a way to kind of, and if you look at his promos, I mean, if you look at all the stuff that he's done at this point, they haven't done any kind of physical fighting, and that's a really interesting thing about this whole build-up. They just had him do a promo one after the other, one guy after the other.
Well, if you think about this, think back to Triple H and Taker.
Yeah.
Right after Shawn retired.
Yeah.
They did no physical action up until the match. Everything was just promos.
That's right. And it made for a hell of a match, too, I think. Because when you finally see them go at it, that was kind of like, oh, shit, this is something I can watch. This isn't like a bathroom break kind of thing. I want to sit here and just watch this whole thing, So I think that's a really good thing they did with that. But then if you look at, again, now they brought up different kind of things, different stipulations. Batista said, of course, if Triple H, the core storyline is if Triple H loses, he must retire in the ring. But if you look at Triple H, he has kind of like a winning, or kind of like a somewhat of a streak going on in WrestleMania, right?
No, he lost last year.
He lost last year, of course, yeah. 29, he lost against Brock. 30, he lost against
Daniel
Bryan. Yeah, 31, I think he was facing Sting, and of course he won. 32, he was facing Roman Reigns. 33, I think he fought. Was it Seth? Yeah, Seth Rollins, he lost. And now
last year he lost to Kurt
and Ronda. And now 35, again, it kind of brings up the question, will he lose?
I think he's going to win because that whole one statement that Batista made, he did everything but beat me, which means Triple H is winning. Yeah,
that's right. I think it's just like a do or die kind of thing for him. Just to kind of say, okay, you know what? There's now or never. This is what you got to do. That's it, So they might just be doing this as kind of like a play, but I think everybody knows, hey, you know what? Like 21, he lost. You see SummerSlam, Triple H lost. Whenever the world title was in line, Triple H lost against Batista. So now it's kind of like, Batista, he has to win this. Otherwise, it's basically like a L column for them the whole time, So you never know. For me, I think Triple H has to win, I think, with this one.
I say Triple H wins.
Yep. And then, I see what else. So then we got, what else?
AJ versus Orton.
AJ versus Orton. So this is like a dream match, I'd say, right? What'd you say?
Yeah.
At Mania, nonetheless. Mania. A big match in Mania. A big kind of thing. This is I think, like 10 years ago, people were looking at it as TNA versus WWE. Technically, right now, it's kind of is. Because you see Orton kind of throwing shots at
Well, it's like we all said.
Yeah.
10 years ago, no.
This whole thing with Dixie Carter and shit, like, it's crazy. Like, oh, he's like, what were you doing sipping pina coladas with Dixie Carter, And he's like, what the fuck were you doing the whole time? Oh, I was winning the world title this whole time.
Oh, you were failing drug tests.
Yeah. And he's like, oh, shit, that's fucking crazy. I mean, it's kind of like, again, I like
Well, I was getting $50 for fighting in high school. You were failing drug tests.
Yeah. It's like, whoa, that's fucking... Again, it's back and forth. I think, again, AJ Styles recently signed. Orton is like a loyal kind of guy to WWE. So it kind of brings up the question. It's kind of like, again, is it kind of like a thing where CM Punk, it's like a CM Punk kind of thing where CM Punk was like, oh, you're fighting Triple H. You're in the main event. That's the main event, yeah. And he's like, no, that's not the main event. Why am I facing Triple H? Oh, you're in the main event. They're like, well, if it's the main event, I should be getting main event money, So I think it might be a similar kind of thing where it's like, okay, AJ Styles and Randy Orton, this is just like a match on the card where it's kind of like, again, nothing's on the line really. It's just like a kind of thing where it's like, okay, a novelty match. Let's see how this plays out. So, I mean, I say if Styles wins,
this also has a potential to be match of the night too.
It does, yeah, it does. And again, it's just kind of like one of those blockbuster kind of things. Like, okay, what if we had these two people fight? So you never know. It can be something that's kind of like you might see spots, you might see a lot of things and all that stuff. For God's sake, freaking was it 5 years ago? Yeah, 5 years ago. No, 4 years ago. They had, of course, Seth Rollins versus Orton, and basically you saw that big spot. Orton, like Seth Rollins goes out for the curb stomp.
Oh, that was a freaking great moment.
RKO from the top, bam. Yeah, so they might have something where like AJ Styles is like a forearm smash and then
spiral tap.
Spiral tap, you never know. So
I see AJ trying to pull spiral tap. Orange.
Yeah, a lot of great spots. I think the WWE's just trying to do.
What I think would have the crazy.
Yeah, this might just be like a spot wrestling match. I'm guessing. So it's just gonna be like, okay, one spot here, one spot there. So just kind of see, okay, let's just kind of like as a fresher, just kind of switch it up. Yeah. So the next match,
Roman Reigns versus Drew McIntyre. Roman Reigns.
I gotta say Drew, man. I'm Drew. I'm all Drew for this.
I'm a big Drew fan. I see him getting a push, but
yeah,
I don't think they're gonna let Roman lose his first big match since returning from leukemia.
That's true. I see that. But then also you got to think about this too. Look at him physically. Like since he's come back, he's a lot thinner. He's performed pretty good, but I think it's not the same Roman Reigns that we had a couple months ago. And again, that could be because of his leukemia diagnosis. I mean, you really can't control that. But I think really, if you look at like the storyline wise, Drew McIntyre beat Ambrose, quote unquote, put him out of commission, of course, because he might be leaving. Seth Rollins, he beat Seth Rollins. Now he's facing Roman Reigns. What kind of a good thing would it be for him to kind of light that fire so he can get a push?
Hey, I beat all three members of the Shield.
Yeah, beat all three members. And not only that, he beat the general. He beat technically a locker room general right now. Because if you think about it, as I said, basically Roman Reigns is now that kind of locker room leader right now.
He's the Undertaker.
He's basically, the Undertaker right now. So,
because you remember in the 90s, who ran the locker room? Taker.
Yeah, Undertaker. Yeah. And again, it's kind of like, it brings back to the same thing. This guy, he's done a lot for the business. He's done a lot. What can he benefit from beating Drew McIntyre? I think it's more beneficial for Drew McIntyre. Because I think we said this many times before. We're super high on Drew McIntyre. We think Drew McIntyre should be world champ.
Yeah.
In my opinion, if anything, by the end of this year, by the end of this calendar year, he has to be a universal champ. In my mind.
I see that. I'm just saying. I think they're gonna.
They might just go ahead and, I guess, but then this might be kind of like how they started out. So you never know. They might just go ahead and just say, okay, Drew McIntyre wins, and then boom, just kind of puts him.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. We never know. But yeah.
Next is Brock versus Seth. Seth.
Man, Seth has to win. If Seth doesn't win, same kind of thing. Last year, of course, you saw this whole thing. Basically, they had the W24 documentary.
He threw the title at the owner.
This motherfucker threw a fucking 15 pound WWE belt to the face of the fucking chairman of the company. This guy could have just gone ahead and pissed on Vincent K. McMahon's father's grave.
Yep.
And he still wouldn't have got kicked out of WWE. That just says something. Titus grabbed this guy by the shoulder at a freaking taping. At a fucking...
And just walk him out.
Yeah, and then basically just said, oh, you're suspended. What does Brock get? Oh,
we'll give you a title.
Literally, he just goes there and shoves Paul Heyman's head up, Vince's ass or something, or takes out fucking Kevin Dunn and just fucking rips him in half. Oh, you're not fired. It's cool. Hell, you know what? We'll throw more money at you. Here, come to Saudi Arabia with us. We'll give you Saudi money.
He freed his contract just for him to appear on TV, $136,000. For him to fight in a match, $385,000. Retains the title, $500,000. Wins the title, $800,000.
That's right.
What the
Again,
fuck?
it's kind of. I mean, here's the thing: you can't hate him because of the fact that he's providing for his family. But I think what it is again, if you look at the longevity of the whole. But then, I mean, if you look at the whole longevity of the wrestling business, it's he every time he comes in, and Nick said this many times, and again, I think we all agree with this. He comes into the ring, he can put up a hell of a performance. If he's facing Finn, he'll make it look believable that a 170-pound guy can beat a fucking 275-pound fucking beast like Brock.
It was a great match, though. That was a great match.
It was. And then Brock did a very, very good role of trying to go ahead and putting Finn over. So, I mean, I see that. And of course, you saw this past Monday where he kind of did this thing where, he put Seth over in a sense. So, you never know. It could happen. So, they might just have a kind of storyline where the same thing has happened to Brock. It's happening like with Kurt. It's happening to Brock too. Basically, hey, you're getting older. You need to step out. So you never know.
And now, I think the final match, the main event.
Well, we didn't talk about the Daniel Bryan versus Kofi Kingston.
Oh, Kofi Mania.
Kofi Mania. It's kind of crazy, right? This could have gone to Mustafa Ali.
Yeah, this was Ali. This was
supposed to be Mustafa Ali. I say if Kofi wins this, it's a pretty big deal. He should.
Because he gets Grand Slam.
Yeah. But then I think it's also the fact that Bryan, he's trying to be a reputable champion. I think Bryan's going to retain.
I see Kofi.
Well, let's talk about, of course, probably one of the most...
The match.
The match, quote unquote. Charlotte, Lynch. Winner takes all.
The man is winning.
The man is... I think, first one, I like the way they built this. Like you said recently, like as the weeks kept getting closer and closer, they started building it up into this big ass thing. Like, holy shit, these guys are really about to get into it. And
not only am I gonna give my prediction of Becky, I'm giving how she's winning. Becky is winning by making Ronda tap out.
Really? I mean, but here's the thing. I see this. Ronda, she said many times that she wants to leave. She wants to leave WWE for. Yeah, to take a hiatus and start kids and all that stuff, start a family with her husband and everything, right? So, I mean, I give her that. She's done a lot for, right now for the time being, especially in the whole year that she's competed,
all I gotta say is the go home edition of Raw, that one segment was amazing.
That was, yeah. That whole thing with the car and everything, it was crazy. And again, I think what they said was in that segment, Bruce Pritchard, all the new producers, Sanjay Dutt, freaking Joseph Park, all these big guys that recently came on, they all had input into this. Even Kevin Dunn had input into this. Vince had input into this. So
wow.
Again,
we still don't like him. We still don't like Kevin Dunn.
I don't like Kevin Dunn. I don't like him. But I think the thing is like, okay, as long as they're taking everybody's opinions into this, that's good. At least it's a good thing.
Doesn't this remind you of Attitude Era?
Kind of. I mean, if you look at all the things that have been going up to this point, like Fastlane, of course, with Becky getting arrested and all that stuff, the mugshot, quote unquote, of the man, same thing. It's basically like Stone Cold all over again. Or it's kind of like all this stuff with this whole thing going on. But don't you feel like? I mean, I think for us, I think we're all kind of stuck on the fact that Rousey might. I mean, no. Rousey is going to lose for sure.
Yeah.
And
it's going to be Becky.
Becky's going to win. But what do you think is going to happen after Mania with Becky?
I'm hearing it's going to be her and Stephanie having a feud.
Yeah, so that's interesting. So if you think about it, Stephanie McMahon is like the closest thing to McMahon after Vince McMahon's gone.
Yeah.
If you think, like in sense of like thought process, embodied person, all this stuff, like embodiment, the way they think and everything.
Even the way
she's just like so.
The way she talks is Vince also.
Yeah, all Vince. It's all Vince, man. So I think what it is, they might just be having kind of like Stan McMahon is that figure that's kind of against, the big star,
which was Vince and Austin.
Yeah, Vince and Austin. Yeah, it's a similar kind of thing. Basically, Stephanie McMahon is this Vince, and Becky Stone Cold.
Yeah,
it's a similar kind of thing. The Rock, of course, in this case would be either Ronda or
probably
Charlotte.
Yeah, Ronda.
It's kind of like, again, there's a lot of different elements to this.
And
I think
Charlotte is Mick Foley.
Yeah. Well, we gotta talk about this before we go. I think 4 horsewomen. Do you see this happening?
Survivor Series.
So you won't see anything. Let's say during this match, the 4 horsewomen come.
No, I see after.
After the fact, really?
Yeah.
So we see Shayna Baszler come out with the NXT title, be like, "I know stuff."
I don't know if it's going to be right after the match. It might be weeks.
Yep.
But I see Survivor Series 2019.
Yeah, it could happen. You never know. I mean, what I think was really crazy, they said potentially the way they had this match before, I think right after Charlotte won the title, and they were saying that it was still going to be the Raw Women's title online. They had a potential of having all 4 horsewomen holding gold that night at WrestleMania. Of course, Bayley and Sasha holding the tag titles.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. You got the potential of Becky holding the Raw Women's title. You got Charlotte Flair holding the SmackDown Women's title.
I really thought that they were going to put Charlotte in her own match.
Yeah, I was like, come on, man. And then this whole thing where they kind of scrap Asuka's whole feud and everything kind of seemed kind of ill-advised, like out of nowhere. They said, okay,
it makes no sense to keep her in this match.
Yeah, and again, they also introduced these titles, in 2016, 2017, when they had the brand extension a couple years ago?
Yeah.
And for 3 years, you're going to go ahead and just go and unify the titles? It doesn't make sense in my mind. I think if it could have just been Ronda versus
Becky.
That would have been good. Adding Charlotte.
Because you remember, that was supposed to be the match we got at Survivor Series.
That's right, yeah. But then, of course, this whole thing with Charlotte and everything, adding her in.
Nia had to ruin that match.
That's right. It's just kind of like, again, WWE is just trying to have this thing. Again, they have this trend. They had it in WrestleMania 20 with Benoit, Triple H, Shawn Michaels, and WrestleMania 25, 10 years ago, exactly to the day. They had, of course, Cena, which is called Big Show, and Edge. So again, and also like 24, let's say, for example, Orton, Cena, and Triple H.
Oh, yeah, 30.
Yeah. It's kind of, WWE has this theme where they want to go and have every other year. Which, again, is kind of like, come on, man. Like, really? That's what sets you apart? You have a triple threat at the main event in Mania?
I mean, the only thing that makes this one special is the fact it's women main eventing the biggest show of the year.
Yeah. And again, it's also the fact that if you look at right now, with them going to Saudi Arabia, they're going to Saudi Arabia again. And the debate is they might not have an Evolution pay-per-view. Instead, they'll have the women compete in Saudi Arabia.
Which would be big.
Which would be big. It'll be the first time ever. That's one thing. It's historic. But then it's also the fact that the women are now being able to compete. And plus, they get money, too. There's, Saudis are giving a lot of money. Why not? So,
yep. Big money.
Big money. So, yeah. And again, it also puts women wrestling on the map. This whole build-up with the first women's Hell in a Cell, this, that, tag titles. This puts a cap on everything pretty much. And it kind of just keeps it going for this. So, you never know. Again, they say wrestling's fake, wrestling storytelling. This is kind of what they're going to build. Of course, it restarts the night after Mania.
I realized we forgot to do?
Yeah.
If they don't want to go on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter, where else can they get coverage of the show that we're doing right now?
So there's actually a site, and it's called Pro Wrestling Opinion, PWO, 3 letters. I always talk about this. I think we always talk about this, right? So I'm sitting in class.
Tell the story.
Yeah, I gotta tell everybody the story. So sitting in class, bored as hell. this freaking teacher just keeps blabbing about stuff, and I'm just kind of like, come on, man.
Kids, don't listen to the story.
Don't listen to the story, and don't do this. I wouldn't recommend this for class. But I'm just sitting there, I'm thinking, how do I stay up? Damn, I didn't watch NXT, I didn't watch SmackDown, I didn't watch Raw. Shit, how do I keep up with this? So what I do instead, I have my laptop open. Instead of watching, I can't because I'm gonna get caught. Some guy behind me is gonna.
Yeah, because you're gonna get that one kid. Oh, Professor, Sal's watching wrestling.
He's watching wrestling. That fake shit. I'm like, shut the fuck up, fucking Kevin Dunn. And then of course, it's gonna happen. Then after that, I get busted, whatever. So instead of doing all that, literally just pop on ProWrestlingOpinion.com, right there onto the browser, right there, and I see everything as it's going on. So as I'm kind of reading through, I'm kind of thinking, damn, it's minute by minute coverage. Basically, like I said, up to date. Basically, it's kind of like you're seeing the whole match going through your head, as if you're actually there watching it. So I'm just sitting there watching it. I'm just kind of like, damn, man. So I really am caught up with wrestling. At the same time, I'm up in class. And I'm distracted, so that's okay. But I wouldn't recommend class. Don't do that stuff. Of course, wrestling's fun. Reading is fun. But reading about wrestling, that's fundamental.
Also, you could listen to it on your way to work, on your way to class.
That's right.
Because we're on
all these platforms.
So many freaking platforms now.
Yeah, Apple Podcasts, Android Podcasts,
Spotify,
Breaker, Republic. We got Apple Podcasts. iTunes. Pretty much every platform there is. You definitely can check us out there. We're on Instagram, of course. Rich and me. We're on the Instagram page. We co-run it. The Facebook page, like I said, we got that also. Basically, a wide variety of things. Twitter. And of course, Rich runs it. We got to talk about Twitter page, man. Your news.
This week it's going to be very hectic.
Very hectic.
A lot of rumors. So Twitter will be very popular this week for RSN.
That's right. So again, you can always follow us from there. If you, like I said, if you want to kind of check out and kind of collaborate stuff like that, definitely you can contact one of us on Facebook, Instagram, all of our social media platforms, and definitely, like I said, check us out. But yeah,
cross promotion, not a bad thing.
Yeah, not a bad thing indeed. Yeah. So if anything, this is the RSN Wrestling Podcast. This is the mastermind.
This is the big guy, Rich.
And we'll see you guys out. And again, check out PWO, Pro Wrestling Opinion.
See you guys.
By the Nick Lopez. We'll see you again. See you guys.